right, everybody, and welcome to the Touch of Gaming podcast, episode number 114. As always, I'm your host, Lloyd Hansen, and joining me, Jared Schultz. Jared, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
That's good. That's good. Turn this down a little bit.
Still sounds loud.
Yeah, I gotta turn it down a little bit more. It's very loud. So, how you been? It's been a week and a day.
Yeah, it's been really good. Things are going well, and just playing a lot of games and played a couple of big games, so ones that take a long time. So
nice. That's always a good thing. I've been doing that as well. Got some nice new audio equipment, so I'm happy. I shared a story before recording the show about how living in Canada sucks because everything costs twice as much when you factor in shipping and duty and taxes. It just makes me really sad. But I'm doing a podcast now, so all is good. I'm happy. Podcasts don't cost anything, so it doesn't matter that I'm in Canada.
It's true.
All right, well, I don't really have any announcements in this episode, so what do you say we get into the show?
That's okay. Nobody really likes announcements anyway.
They do. They just don't want to admit it. It's one of those things that they love hearing it, but their body just says no. I don't want to hear that, or something like that. Anyway, Jared, what you been playing?
I always go first. Since we don't have any announcements, do you want to go first?
Sure, I'll go first. I've been playing lots, actually. This week, Jared and I were talking after the last show, and we both kind of said to each other, it's like, we're buying too many games, and half of them are sitting unplayed on our iOS devices. I have pages and pages of games that I have to get to. Jared said he has the same. And I said, you know what? Starting this week, I'm not going to buy any games. I'm going to beat all the games that I have on my device and not spend any more money on iOS games and deal with it that way. And then the games for this week came out. And I bought like 7 games, and I've been playing them all in various amounts. So yeah, so much for that, Jared. That didn't work so much.
Hey, we lasted for a week. I think it was just because last week was so slow that we felt so good about ourselves that we didn't buy anything new.
Yeah, last week was pretty puny as far as releases go, but this week has been crazy. I'll talk about a few of them that I've been playing that I'm not reviewing this episode, and then we'll get into what you've been playing. The first game that I've really kind of been loving is a game called Jack Lumber, and it's basically Fruit Ninja meets Ren and Stimpy with bullet time from the Matrix thrown in. Really, really odd combination of things, and it is amazing. So you play you play a lumberjack who hates trees because a tree fell and killed your grandmother. So you basically do this crazy chopping electrical thing, which makes all these little logs pop up in the air. And the game basically revolves around you chopping all these logs. And basically what happens is, like Fruit Ninja, the actual logs will pop up on the screen from the bottom and then fall down. But when the logs pop up, when you touch the screen, you go into lumberjack mode, which is like bullet time. So everything slows down, and then you can actually drag your finger and make lines throughout all the logs until they disappear, until you have them all. So it's kind of like line drawing on top of that. It's awesome. I mean, the one thing that really made me want to watch it is my buddy Kurt did the trailer for this game, and it was super quirky, super Ren and Stimpy, kind of like that type of art style. And I immediately fell in love with the art style and wanted to play the game just because of that. And then I found out that another local developer, Devin Reimer, actually worked on the game. And even more, this game has been published by Sega. So it was Devin's company. He partnered with another company, the same company that did Snuggle Truck. So they kind of worked on this game together. And then next thing you know, they're being published by Sega. So it's kind of like a little crazy success story as far as independent development goes. Yeah, really good. Go get it. It's $1 on the App Store. This isn't a full review, but I can basically say go buy it now. You'll love it. This game has the ability to jump way up the sales charts just because it is so much like other games that are out there that are doing really well. But it takes all those ideas and just really polishes them. One neat thing about that is when you when you play the game, and each level has basically a start and a finish, and then you get graded. When you beat a level, you get a little tiny animal friend for your log cabin that you can poke and make jump around. But basically, all the game itself is divided into a series of sections, and each of the worlds is kind of their own little thing. So it gives you a full sense of progression as you make your way from the first world, the first level, all the way to the end of the game. So lots of fun. Jack Lumber, go get it now. It's definitely worth your money. The other game that I've been playing a lot is called Puzzlecraft. It's 99 cents, and it's a match 3 puzzle game slash RPG slash simulation slash world builder. I don't know how it works, but it is it's really addictive. I've been playing it. I showed it to Kara, my wife. She's been playing it. She's like twice as far as I've gotten in the game, and she's playing it like crazy. I know, Jared, you're playing it as well, and your wife is playing it, and your little brother is playing it. It's super addictive. Super, super addictive.
Yeah, and my dog's playing it.
Your dog's playing it, yeah. Does he do better than I do? Probably.
Oh, he's way ahead of you.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. That's smart dog you got there.
Yeah.
So Puzzlecraft is good. We'll probably review that one in the next episode. Maybe we can do a joint review on that one, Jared.
Yep.
And last but not least, Horn came out. That's the game that was from what was the name of the game that they published before? I'm blanking on it right now.
Dark Meadow?
Yeah, Dark Meadow. That's what it was. So they published Dark Meadow. Their next game, they announced it, looked really, or they didn't announce it, they talked about it, and then next thing you know, this is the first game that is being published by Zynga. And so it's part of the Zynga Partners Program. And I was trying to describe this game to a bunch of people at work that have played a lot of video games across all the consoles. And I said it's like Infinity Blade crossed with Zelda crossed with Fable, if that makes any sense. It's like Infinity Blade, where you're basically battling big behemoths with your sword using swipe controls, but you're not limited to going from one fight to another by taps. It's actually kind of an open world that you can roam around in, which is really great. There's a crafting mechanism put into it, so you can craft your own weapons. There's puzzles, and you have to figure out how to get through rooms, so you get kind of the Zelda feel from it. And then it's wrapped up in this kind of art style and look and feel that reminds me a lot of like Fable. So it's English. All the voice actors sound very British, and just a great game from top to bottom. It's $7. I've been playing it. I'm about 20% through according to my save game, whether that equates 20% through the game as far as time goes, or just the amount of stuff I've done. I've read some previews online that say this game will take about 10 hours or so to get through, which is crazy. I'm probably about 2 hours in and about 20% through, so maybe 10 hours really is what this game's going to be. But if you were worried about Horn, that it wasn't going to be what you were hoping it was going to be, you might want to take a peek at it. It is actually really, really good. So I'll try to review that one in the next episode as well, because I am really, really digging that one. All right, Jared, how about you? What you been playing?
I've been playing quite a few things as well. I guess we're kind of skipping over ones that we're doing reviews, so I'll just skip a couple there at the top first on my list. And then I have been playing Puzzlecraft as well. Puzzlecraft, incredibly good. It's really, really good. I really enjoy it. So, yeah, we'll review it next week, but we're probably just going to tell you more of it's really, really good, and you should go buy it. So then after that, I've been playing a game called Legend 4. And Legend 4, what I'll do a lot of times is I'll look through like Free App a Day or Apps Gone Free, that app, and App Shopper, and I'll look and just kind of see what's new and making sure I'm not missing anything. And this one popped up in there. And I was like, yeah, well, I'll give it a shot. Well, it kind of has a little bit of that dungeon raid feel, where you are trying to match swords so you can attack people, and shields so you can build your shield, and potions so you can build your life, and mana things so you can get more mana to cast spells. Except it mixes things up in that there's levels and people that you're trying to defeat, more like a puzzle quest or something like that. And then you also have 4 characters that you potentially control, and each one has a different skill tree. So I thought, hey, this is kind of cool, and I was playing it. I got it for free, so I was really enjoying it. I got through about 4 worlds, and at the end of each world, there's a big boss, and the big bosses are much, much harder. And I ran into this big boss, and basically I couldn't beat him. I probably tried 20 times to beat him, and I was just not able to do it. It was kind of like an unofficial paywall where you kind of have to pay to power up your guys or else go grind a whole bunch. And I wasn't really happy about that. So I logged back in the next day, and they gave me a whole bunch as like a daily login bonus. And I just get nervous about anything with a daily login bonus, especially when the daily login bonus is bigger than what you get for 99 cents if you were to buy it. So, I mean, I kind of wish that they had something like, or like Duckers, where if you pay 99 cents, you get double
Right.
coins,
Yeah.
double currency. That would work well. The other thing is, I think this is done by one of those Chinese development studios that every once in a while has the funny grammar, or the funny spelling mistakes. So if you lose a level twice, it'll be like, oh, you really need to go level up your stuff, and you're like, okay, and then you can click on 2 buttons, and one is okay, and one is um, cancel, except they spell cancel CANCLE, like they mix up the E and the L, and it just it's one of those ones that you're like, I can't believe this actually came out, and somebody never missed the fact that they couldn't spell the word cancel right, especially on one of the screens that you see one of the most often screens, right? So it's not like hidden or anything. It's one that comes up really commonly, and they have a huge spelling error. Really noticeable. But it's fun, and I didn't pay anything for it, and I'll probably just trying to keep getting the daily login bonus and play every once in a while. I don't know how much I'll keep playing it, especially because Puzzlecraft came out and does kind of a similar mechanic but better.
Right.
So, and then I've been playing Shellraiser. So Shellraiser, you take the role of a turtle that is trying to get back to your love, and because she's a really cute girl turtle. And then you have different guys that, and your turtle's also a giant. And you have guys that then build weapons on your back, and you can fire the different weapons. And you go through the different levels fighting the bad guys and taking down all their things with the different weapons on your back. And played a few levels, and it was only $1, and I think it's a fun game so far. I'm excited to keep playing it and see if I keep enjoying it. But yeah, I thought the story was kind of strange. But hey, story's not always the most important thing, right?
Can't always be winners.
Good gameplay mechanics. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's what I've been playing besides the games I'm reviewing. So
Cool.
Lots and lots.
Lots and lots and lots. Sounds like it's lots and lots going all around. Lots of really great games coming out. Let's get right into it. For the rest of the show, we'll talk about the notable releases. Of course, I mentioned Jack Lumber. Go get it now, 99 cents. Well worth it. I'll review it next week with a full review, but you're going to love it. You have Mad Skills BMX came out as well. I picked this one up because it looks great. It has this hand-drawn art style, and it's kind of like a Trials HD sort of thing. It's done by the people that did Mad Skills Motocross, and it's kind of more of the same of that. But that's not a bad thing. That's a really good thing. So you'll want to check that out if you're into that type of racing game type stuff. Of course, Puzzlecraft rather. We talked about it, 99 cents. Random Heroes came out for 99 cents, and this is the kind of 2D side-scrolling pixel arty kind of game, similar to a bunch of other games that came out by the same developer, which I'm also evil something. Oh, why?
League of Evil.
League of Evil. Wow. Why can't I think of anything today? I'm blanking on all these names. This is like very unlike me. So the League of Evil developer came out with this one, and this one is kind of like an RPG sort of, where you go through all the different levels collecting coins, and then you use those coins to buy bigger and badder weapons. Controls are spot on. It plays as good as any platformer will ever play on iOS. That one's $1 as well, and well worth that $1. Flips Escape came out. which is kind of a spiritual sequel to The Last Rocket, which was a game where it's kind of like it was kind of like Choo Choo Rocket, sort of, kind of a really awesome kind of puzzly game. I really enjoyed that one. Well, Flip's Escape is kind of the spiritual sequel where you play the rocket, but you're escaping from a big explosion, and the controls are you touch the screen to stop the rocket. When you do that, the explosion gets bigger from the bottom of the screen, and you let go, and you go and you start moving side to side again. And basically what you're trying to do is collect the stars that are circling around the planetoids and avoid hitting the planetoids, because you'll take damage if you do that. And it's kind of like an endless running sort of game where you're trying to get as far as you possibly can, with as many points as you can. That one's $1. Pretty decent game. I've been playing that one a little bit. Of course, Horn, talked about, $6.99. I'm loving it so far. We'll give you my review next week. And a couple other games came out. The Simpsons Tapped Out was re-released by EA. They announced it at in their big European press conference that they just had. And they basically said that it's being launched worldwide this week, and sure enough, it came out yesterday. So if you haven't picked up The Simpsons Tapped Out yet, do go and pick it up. It is suffering from some of the problems that had it pulled in the first place, which is long wait times to get into the game. Servers are crazy. The origin system goes down. I've played this game since it came out initially in Canada, and I've pretty much done everything you can possibly do in the game. So I'm hoping that this worldwide launch, is going to make it, I don't know, come out with some more content, because it's really, really struggling for some more content. So check that one out. The Simpsons Tapped Out is free, and Thunderstone Gateway is free. I'm not familiar with that one, Jared. It sounds like a Jared game to me.
Oh, it's totally a Jared game. I'm the one that added it on the end of your list. So anyone who knows me knows that I really like board games. And I was really excited because it looked like one of my all-time favorite games, Dominion, was finally going to be out this week. Well, they told us that it was going to be out on the 16th, and that they had a big announcements coming for the 16th. Well, come to find out, it got submitted on the 14th. So there's no way that it would be out right away, and so hopefully next week or so we'll be able to see that, and I'll probably talk about more about it as it comes out. But then another game came out, Thunderstone, which is another popular game. The only bad thing about this one is it allows you to play Thunderstone, which is it's, what is the right word? It's like a deck building game. Okay. And you basically go and you build up your army, and then you go into the caves and defeat bad guys. And it's a card game that they're now having the iOS adaptation of it. So the bad thing about it is you can only play it, like right now it's online only, and you have to have a Facebook account. So you can go on and you can play the original game for free, and then you can pay pretty small amounts to play with the different expansions.
Right.
So just an interesting game that if you're kind of into board games like I am, then this one might be interesting to you. So
cool. Check that one out if you're into that type of stuff. All right, moving on. Let's get into the news. Jared, since I started off with what we've been playing, why don't you start off with news?
Okay, so do you know what one of my all-time favorite games is?
Let's see. Tiddlywinks.
No, you should have looked at the show notes.
Okay. Yeah. Something about exploding little blobs of goo and making other chain reactions happen.
Exactly. I Blast Monkey 2. So I Blast Monkey 2, it's a sequel to I Blast Monkey, which to me is one of the best games that came out on iOS. One of my favorites. I think the reason why it maybe didn't have quite as much success is because it has a really terrible name.
Right.
But that doesn't matter. So I really enjoyed them, and it's one of my favorite games, and it's been like $5 on the App Store, and it just dropped to free for a week. So I just pause this podcast, go download it, and then you can resume this podcast, because everyone should have this game.
Nice. Yeah, I agree. I Blast Monkey was a great game. The first one, I spent so much time playing the first one. That was back on like the I can't remember the name of the social network. It was on Plus Plus, I think it was called, from Engimoko. And then the sequel came out, and I played a whole bunch of it. And then they went and added Game Center achievements to it, and I haven't gone back and replayed it. I should really go do that just to up my Game Center score a little bit. But it is a great game and definitely worth nothing. Like, everybody should own this since they're giving it away as the app of the week on iTunes. Really, really great game. Definitely go check that one out.
Yeah, they've been doing the app of the week, and they've had some really great ones on there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they have. It's been great. A lot of really good apps. They had Kayak Pro, which was like a $5 app for travel. They had They had a picture app. I can't remember what that one was called. They had what was it called? Allows you to stitch multiple photos together in like a kind of photo frame type thing. So they're all over the board, but every once in a while they release a really awesome game, and definitely I Blast Moki is that game. It's amazing. So definitely check that one out and download it while it's free. All right, next up, Marvel is teasing a mobile game. They said that they're coming out with a mobile game, and then they came out with a 40-second trailer for said mobile game, and they've said absolutely nothing about it. So I'll link to the trailer over at Kotaku. It's basically someone talking that S.H.I.E.L.D.'s secret jail has been basically broken into, and all of the enemies that you've ever defeated are now out and roaming the world. So you have to split up from the rest of the Avengers and go hunt them down. And that's pretty much all they tell you. They didn't say what mobile means. Maybe it's not even going to come to iOS. I find that unlikely, but you never know. It's possible. They don't really say what kind of game it is. To me, it looks like kind of an MMO sort of beat 'em up maybe kind of game. And it looks like this game is probably going to be released right around the same time as the console game, because there's a new Avengers game coming out. I think it's called Avengers Assemble or something like that. That's coming to consoles for the holiday season. So maybe into the end of September, start of October. So I'm thinking that this game will probably come out around the same time, and they're just starting to get some of the content out for it. But it looks really good as far as a 40-second teaser trailer that really probably doesn't show any gameplay can look good. So definitely check that one out. I'll link to the video in the show notes.
yeah, and that's the tough part, is it doesn't show any gameplay, so you have no idea what it's going to be. So it'll be fun to watch it. So another one of my favorite games. Do you notice the theme here? I like to write stories about my favorite games and share them.
Hey, that's the best thing. You're loving something and you're sharing it with the audience, which makes them want to go buy it. So that's a good thing.
So Anomaly Warzone Earth was it was the first attempt at trying the reverse tower defense idea, tower attack, where the bad guy has towers and you're trying to figure out how to get by them and attack. Well, they announced their sequel, which is going to be called Anomaly Korea, which I think is kind of funny because usually sequels get bigger, and yet the first one was about Earth and the second one's apparently just Korea.
They had to come back for a second pass in Korea, apparently.
Yeah, and in the first one you were kicking them out and their headquarters was in Tokyo, but apparently nope, they're also in Korea. But that doesn't really matter, because what does matter is the fact that the game looks really, really good. Like, it didn't look bad by any means when it first came out, but the screenshots that they're posting of it are just incredible. It looks like they've really, maybe they haven't touched up the gameplay that much, but just made it look a whole lot better. So yeah, it's going to be something worth following, and really excited that they announced that. So.
Yeah, cool. No, I saw some of the teaser screenshots, and it was like, what the hell is this game? And I'm like, that looks a lot like Anomaly Warzone. It's like, oh, it's a sequel. Good. It looks exactly like the original, but it looks like they've even amped up some of the graphic effects, which is crazy. Anomaly Warzone just came out, or is gonna just be coming out, for Xbox Live Arcade and PlayStation 3. So I don't know. They got something with that franchise, so maybe they have something here. So hopefully they massage it slowly and come out with a good game, not just a quick cash in, because I'd like to see more of these titles come out, because the original was just amazing as far as desktop tower defense goes.
Yeah.
All right, last but not least, this really isn't a news item of a game. It's it's not really anything other than something cool you can do with your iPhone or iPod Touch or iPad. And I'm going to be linking to a website where if you go to this website with your device, it basically shows you a panorama of Mars that was captured with the new Mars rover that just landed. And the cool part about it is it's gyroscopic enabled. So you hold up your device and it's like a window into Mars. So you can look up and down and spin around. It is great. I showed it to my kids and they were just blown away. They thought it was a live feed from Mars, so I had to explain to them that no, it's not live. It's a pictures, because it takes like 7 minutes for these images, little tiny images, to come, and they get all stitched together into a great pano. So after I explained it to them, they were just basically spinning around with my iPad. Which then got me really scared that they're going to get dizzy and fall down. So we took the iPad away and we watched a movie. But they loved it. Everybody that I showed it to loved it. So I wanted to share it here on the podcast as well. It's a great little website to go to. And last but not least, I didn't want to talk, or I forgot to put this in the show notes, something that I wanted to talk about, and that is the Blade Pad, the Kickstarter that I talked about last episode. The developers canceled the funding for the Kickstarter, meaning that they kind of canceled the Kickstarter. I guess they weren't getting the amount of orders that they thought, and I guess they're worried that this is going to be kind of a PR issue for their device. So they're still going to be releasing it, but they're going to be releasing it probably direct and maybe seeking funding some other way. So that was kind of bad. It kind of sucked. But then next thing you know, another controller Kickstarter started. It's called the Coco controller. They're looking for $175,000. They have 25 days to go, and they've only raised 26,000. So they got a long way to go. The interesting thing about this one is it works with everything. It works with iPhones, iPods. It works with Android phones, because it uses the audio port, like your headphone port, to do all this stuff. They've already announced that there's like 50 games that already have support for it. They have betas out there. This is something that this company received funding previously. They raised like $170,000 in funding, seed funding, to get this started. Now they're running a Kickstarter to try to get money for to manufacture everything. So they have a lot of samples out. They have a lot of videos showing what it looks like. But anyway, what this thing is a little shell that you slide your phone into. And it has a D-pad, it has buttons, and it has one analog stick and shoulder buttons, I believe. And depending on how much they raise, they want to add maybe a second analog stick to the device and different colors and things like that. So I actually kind of like this one more because it's something that you can use with any device. If you have a headphone extender, you can use it with your iPad and use it as like a portable controller for your iPad. I really kind of like this one, and I hope it makes it. It's got $150,000. So 360 backers gave it 25,000. So they need another what is that? Another 12,000 backers to if the average is what we're seeing right now. That's a lot of people to jump on. That means about 1,500 people total backing this project. I hope they do it because it looks really good. I have my doubts, but anyway, I wanted to mention it on this podcast as well. So if you want to check out another really cool controller, check out the Coco controller, and I'll add that to the show notes so you can check it out.
I think one of the surprising things about this one is the low price of it.
Yeah, it's like really cheap compared to the other one.
Yeah, you can get one for as low as like $40.
Yeah,
and that's really surprising. It doesn't look quite as good as the Blade Pad, but the fact that it's so much more compatible,
yeah.
more pocket friendly and all that type of thing, I really am excited about this one. And it seems like what's cool is that they actually have developers on board.
Yeah.
Though I can't say that there's any big games that I've wanted to play that will be completely fixed by this so far. So I don't know.
Yeah, they got some desktop tower defense. They have some other ones. They actually have a place on their website that lists all the games. They have first person shooters and stuff like that. The cool thing about this is it just uses your audio port and it draws power from the headphone jack. It doesn't need batteries, and it apparently doesn't draw too much of a charge from your phone as well. So it probably would not kill your battery as fast as a Bluetooth one, because the Bluetooth can suck your battery dry pretty darn quick. So that's kind of nice. You can basically throw it in your bag and then slide your iPhone into it, or take your iPhone out and plug it into your iPad and play your games that way. So I'm really kind of looking forward to this one. I hope it comes out. The nice little feature that they just added is a pass-through for headphones, so you can put your headphones in the top of it and listen to the game while you're playing, or I guess it's in the bottom of it. You can listen to the game while you're playing, even though this device goes into the audio jack. So they found some way to put the controls bi-directional over audio and not have any sort of audio hiccups or anything. So pretty amazing. And they say the latency is really low as well, because it's just using audio. It's not, you don't have to wait for the Bluetooth transfer to happen and any sort of interference that you get with Bluetooth and other things that are happening in the area. So pretty cool one. Check it out, the Coco controller over at Kickstarter, and back it. Hopefully we can get this thing made.
You're making me really tempted. I'm totally one of the $1 backers on there right now. With the people that just wants to see what's going on with it, as opposed to actually purchasing it so far.
Yeah, but I dig it. I kind of want it. I hope it comes out. Well, it's going to come out anyway, but I hope it gets backed so it comes out sooner and at a better price than what it will if it has to wait. All right, moving on. We only have about a half hour left, so let's fly through these. We have some reviews to do. Jared, why don't you kick it off with your first one?
All right, so my first one is one that you've heard me talk a few times about. It's Cthulhu Saves the World. So Cthulhu Saves the World, it was kind of an indie game that came out on Steam, and it was cool that, it actually then came out on the iOS platform, and it came out for only $1.99, and it's made by Zeboyd Games, and it is kind of a classic Japanese RPG that makes fun of everything that is Japanese RPGs. So originally when it came out, I played it, had some trouble with it because it kept crashing. They came out with a patch. One of the things they said in the patch was to fix the crashing, and that made me want to come back to the game because that was my biggest problem with it. So I played through it. There's kind of a zany cast of characters. Your main character is a bad guy Cthulhu from H.P. Lovecraft, who wakes up to destroy the world and has his power taken from him just as he's waking up to destroy the world, and he has to go get his power back. Well, the way that he gets his power back is by saving the world and getting hero points. So he goes and gets hero points and saves the world, and you get to go do, foil various plots by other bad guys to stop them from destroying the world. So you do get different characters. A lot of the characters are kind of goofy. Has a lot of the classic things that happen in Japanese RPGs. One of the things I really like about it is it has a random battle system. And in this random battle system, a lot of people don't like these ones, random battles, and they say it's one of the things that kills Japanese RPGs. But it actually works this one, because what it is you have random battles for so long, but then eventually you have a battle counter every time you walk into a new place, and so it'll say like random battle count 25. And so after you go through 25, then it quits bothering you with random battles and you can just walk around the place, which is kind of cool. It's kind of a cool way to do it, don't you think? It's kind of a hybrid. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it works, and then if you do want to level up, you can go into your menu and go click fight, and you can fight to your heart's content and grind. But I never really had to grind in this game, which is also kind of nice. I did get really lost in some of the, maybe this is, me playing as an adult, as opposed to, because I know that when I was a kid, I would always get lost, and it wasn't a big thing in a game if I got lost in a part of a dungeon. But I just got really frustrated by that, and I kind of wish there was like a mini map or something that I could follow. But inside dungeons, there's no mini map features, so you can be wandering around for a very long time lost. So that's probably one of my complaints. They try to make it so all the battles go really fast, which is both good and bad. So you play, and the first time the bad guys are their normal level, and then their power goes up by 10% each round that you don't kill them. So, the second round they'll be 110% strength and then 120. And that's kind of cool, but at the same time, if you have a battle go a long time, then the enemies are like hitting really, really hard and you don't get anything out of it from it going longer. So I'm not sure exactly how that mechanic works in, but sometimes it kind of drives you a little crazy because there's a huge incentive to try and beat it quickly each battle. It does have a good party system. You can save anywhere. There's lots of save points. Every time you get out of a battle, you heal yourself automatically, which is kind of nice because it seems like, when you're playing like, I don't know, old Final Fantasies or something, as soon as you get out of a battle, what you always have to end up doing is pulling up your menu and making sure your healers go and heal all your guys so that you're at full strength. And if you beat them quickly, you get a lot of MP back, and if you beat them slowly, you get a small amount of MP back. So it kind of has a lot of mechanics that are common in Japanese RPG games, but it's also mixes things up to the point where it's good, and there's a lot of like self-aware moments where they'll say something about how did this work out? It must only work out this way in video games, stuff like that. I recommend playing it with the on because then there's these little question marks that you can go and read what the director. And they're all over the place, and it's kind of funny. What?
We lost you for a second.
Did you lose me?
Yeah, but you're good now. Hello, are you there?
Okay. Okay. So the other little funny thing is, I'm here.
Wow.
Are you?
Delay.
What?
Delay. Doesn't matter. Just keep going.
Okay, so it's kind of funny because they call this like the super hyper mega enhanced edition, whatever. So it's kind of funny that they do that alpha, and they take every word that people use for the premium editions. So overall, I'm gonna say that this is a 4 out of 5 game for a lot of people that are looking for a Japanese RPG type game and enjoy the turn-based battles. This will be a good one for you to pick up, and at $1.99, it's really good. So. Again, that's 4 out of 5. Zeboyd Games. I think it was actually published by Tinker House, but if you can get through spelling Cthulhu, you will find this game. So yeah, $1.99, 4 out of 5. Go get it.
Awesome. Thanks, Jared. Sorry you broke up a bit there, but everything came through in the end, so that's what matters. I'm going to get into my first review of the night. I'm going to review a game called Pocket Army, and I picked up this game just because it kind of sounded interesting. Turns out they were actually posting a lot in our forums, so I don't know if it was some sort of like psychological thing where I didn't notice that was the game that I heard a lot about and ended up going to download it. But you can see the art style looks very interesting in the loading screen. There's like some really buxom woman, and she's in like skimpy armor, and then you get into the game and it's like crazy chibi Japanese style, so like big heads and super small bodies, and they kind of bounce around, and it's like, okay, that's really kind of odd. There's like some crazy hand-drawn anime kind of art for the loading screen, but then everything in the game has nothing to do with that. So that was the first kind of thing with the game that kind of made me kind of confusing or confused about this. But anyway, Pocket Army is basically apparently I started a battle and didn't realize that I was doing that. Basically what this game is it's a grind fest. You are the leader of an army. You're a guy, and you're trying to basically beat all of the bad bosses in the world, and you do that by basically going into a level, destroying all the enemies, and then ending the level. So pretty simple stuff. What makes this one a little bit interesting or a little bit different is they give you the ability to recruit other people, which obviously is the army part of Pocket Army. So when you do that, you can buy individual people to join your crew, and then they come and they fight for you. The thing about this game is it's a left to right kind of runner, so you can only move left to right, and and as you do that, your guys just follow you, and then they will do their own attacking. So you might not want people to go and attack a big boss, so you have to kind of plan your way out to stop them from doing that, or killing a guy, because when they die, they're dead, and you have to rebuy them, which kind of sucks at first when you realize that's happening, but it turns out to not be too much of an issue as you're leveling up. As you level up in this game, you then have the ability to buy other things for your character. There's a bunch of different equipment. There's armor, there's weapons, there's I think they're called medallions in this game. I want to get it right. I think that's what they're called. No, they're called rings. That's right. They're rings, not medallions. And shields. And every level unlocks something. It either unlocks a new type of person that you can recruit, or a weapon, armor, shield, or ring. Weapons, armors, and shields can all be bought with gold, which you get from defeating just normal enemies. Rings can only be purchased with gems, which is the premium currency in this game. You get gems by defeating specific special characters in the game, or by coming back every day. You get a bonus to gold and gems. So that gets a little hard, because I found myself, like, for the longest time not upgrading my ring, because it took a long time to save up the couple hundred gems that I needed to get to the next level. So that's a little bit disappointing. You can buy premium currency, but it is really, 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 really expensive. So I don't, unless you want to spend a lot of money on this game, I don't see many people doing that. I could see some people buying a little bit to get started to begin with, but it's a free app, so spending a little bit, I didn't mind that too much. I bought I think the $3 pack or whatever to kind of get started, but then I haven't really felt the need to buy anything as I go along. And basically, you start the battle, you pick something from the world map, you go defeat the enemy, you collect your loot, you get some experience, and you go back, rinse and repeat. So I don't know what it is about this game that I like, because it is really repetitive. Like, I mean, you're fighting in the same world over and over and over. Like, I can remember playing one level, I think 20 times in a row, to save up enough money to unlock the next here, let's go back to the base, to unlock the next group of people. So your main army is only 8 people, and then there's a big box in the middle called the main, so it's 12 people. And it's like, oh yeah, I want to have, instead of 8, I want to have 20 guys rushing the boss. So I saved up the 500,000 gold that I would have to do that. And then when I did that, saved up 500,000, took me forever. Your main army doesn't actually come out and fight for you. I think they're just used as backup. So as your characters die, your other guys just kind of run onto the field. So a lot of grinding for nothing, because if I'm not beating a world, I tend to not keep going. I keep leveling up and grinding up and leveling my character, and then taking on newer worlds. So I don't really know where this is going to come into play. Maybe in later levels. I'm about halfway through the game. I'm level 27 of 50. So I'm not completely beating it, but this game would take like days and weeks and months to beat, because they're we'll get into that in a second. But yeah, maybe there's a time that that will come into play, but unfortunately it doesn't appear to be the case. In your barrack, where you recruit all the different people to come fight for you, you can actually spend some gold to upgrade them. Upgrading basically increases the amount of damage they can take and the amount of damage they deal. You spend a lot of gold to do this, and some of them take a lot of time. Like, I upgraded my zealot to the last level. Apparently there's a max level, and when I did that, it took 40 hours to completely do it, and it was something like 69,000 gold or something like that. So you can spend a lot of gold upgrading your characters. So there's definitely a time sink kind of mechanic into it, where you can only do so much because everything is timer based. Just like when you're buying new people, so say if you want a spearman or a captain or a sniper, depending on what level that character is, so how far up the chain, it takes different amount of time to recruit them to begin with. So you might find yourself getting wiped in a battle, and then you have to wait like a half hour to repopulate your army. So that's where the premium currency comes in. You can then spend premium currency, of course, to speed all that stuff up. yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. The game's a lot of fun. I've been playing it pretty much nonstop for the last week and a half. I play it every day because you get a bonus for going in. I play all the special battles. Like there's a big boss guy. I can't remember what he's called. I think he's like the overseer, or oh no, his name's Abaddon, and you can fight him every 8 hours. So I try to do that once or twice a day because he gives a lot of experience and some crazy drops as well. And there's a little gem Felix, this little kind of blob character, but when you defeat him you get a gem, and then there's villages that get attacked and you defeat them and get a gem, and those are timers. I think the gem Felix is every 10 minutes and 15 minutes for the other one. So you're spending a lot of time kind of waiting and going back in and forth, going back and forth and going in and out. I don't really mind that. I usually dislike crazy repetitiveness in games, having to grind to kind of get through it. I like this game. I really like this game. It's something that I've, as I said, been playing for a week and a half, and I don't see that stopping anytime soon. So anyway, that's kind of my review. It's kind of hard to review this game because there isn't much content to it. It's basically a grind, level up, go on to the next level, grind, level up, go to the next level, and compete with friends. You can battle people, but only Facebook friends, which is kind of odd. Apparently none of my friends on Facebook play this game, which is weird because I'm sure a couple on my friends list do play this game, so I don't know if that's fully working. Seems a little bugged. You can also randomly challenge people, but your random challenge might challenge someone that's level 50 and they have all the magic and all the best characters unlocked, and then they'll just destroy you. My first random battle was over in about 4 seconds. The guys just destroyed me. So I don't know how much fun that is, because if your little guys die in the random battle, they're dead as well, and you have to rebuy them. So it can end up costing you a lot of money, which takes time to generate. So anyway, that is Pocket Army. Great game, a lot of fun. It's free, so definitely check it out. Some in-app purchases. You can decide for yourself whether it's needed or not. Everybody's going to be a little bit different. As I said, I threw a couple dollars at the developer because I was really enjoying the game and wanted to reward them. But your mileage may vary from that part anyway. And yeah, I really dug it. I'm going to give this one a 4 out of 5. I really, really like this game, and I'm going to be playing it for some time on. So if you guys are playing it, let me know what you think about it. Head on over to the VG Podcast forums and jump in and let me know kind of what you like. I really dig it. It's a great game and a lot of fun. It's a good thing to pop into and play for 5 minutes and then go about your daily business. So there you go, Pocket Army. Jared, do you want to hold your review for next week, man?
If you want to, yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll do that. We're running a little bit long and we're having some connection difficulties, so maybe we'll save that one. I was going to review Pitfall as well, and you're going to review Cafeteria and Nipponica, but maybe we'll save that for next week, or maybe we'll put out some pulses or something. That would be a great way to jump right into Pulse, maybe.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, well, that's going to about do it for this episode of the Touch of Gaming podcast. We want to hear what you guys think about it, and we definitely want you to join us when we do this live. We record it live every week. It's usually on Thursdays. Sometimes that's a little bit fluid, like we're recording it on Friday today because I was out at a football game, unfortunately. I have season tickets, so I kind of have to go when my ticket comes up. So definitely check the website, or better yet, join the mailing list. We'll send you an email every week and let you know when our live shows are going to be. So that's the easiest way to stay on top of when all the shows are. Right after this one, we're doing the bonus stage, which is a show that we do every Friday at 10 o'clock. And it's kind of a general purpose gaming news, information, geeky kind of show. So come and hang out and check that one out. We really, really like it. So we're enjoying doing that one. And we got some other news coming down the road as well, but we'll leave you with this one for now. Head on over to vgpodcast.com and let us know what you think. Head on, email us directly at vgpodcast@gmail.com, or you can call our voicemail line, which is area code 505 VG Podcasts, and let us know what you're doing. Let us know what games you're playing, what games you like, what games we should review. Hopefully, we'll get a lot of messages and we can start playing them in future episodes of the podcast. So thanks, Jared, for doing this.
Well, thank you.
We're a little bit delayed, so that's unfortunate. But we'll do this again next week. Thanks everybody for staying subscribed and downloading the show, and thanks everybody that's watching the video version that we put up on YouTube. So there's some people are watching on our website, and other people are going right to YouTube and watch it as well, which is kind of cool. So until next week, guys, keep playing those games. There's a lot of content that came out this week, so get into it. There's a lot of great games to play, and check out Horn. Really good game. Reviewing it next week. All right, guys, take it easy, and we'll talk to you next week.